right. I've also been here, living in Virginia, for over 40 years. I'm old. Actually, we run a group called Cena Foundation that works with dying people. We work with an organization called Cena Foundation that works with dying people. But today we're here to talk to you about living our lives, our time. The teacher before me just said, this is about collective bargaining. We know we're broke, we know we have to pay, but we cannot give up collective bargaining. No way! My father was a union organizer in Wisconsin from the 20s through the 50s. He told me a lot of stories about why he did what he did. I'm going to tell you one. Do you all look at your toilets when you go? Have you seen Kohler? Kohler is an expensive toilet, and it is built on the backs of labor. Well, my father worked for Kohler Company, and he worked the night shift in the foundry. And long after we got all the rights, they still didn't clean up the foundry. Long after my father left the working force. But back when he was working, he worked the night shift in the middle of the winter. And he worked on a machine many, many, many feet above him in the winter night. The heat, from what heat there was, rose to the ceiling, and the snow and ice melted and dripped down next to his machine. As he worked, he could see his breath, and next to him was a puddle of ice. And one night the foreman came to him, and said, I want you to go over to the stables, because in those days there weren't so many tractors and infernal combustion engines. And he went to the stables to pick up a tool. He opened the door and he said, it was like somebody hit me in the face with a shovel. It was so hot in the stables. The stables were steam heated. My father had a bit of a temper. I have a bit of a temper. It makes me angry just knowing it. He went and got the tool, went back into the factory, blowing steam into the air. He said to his foreman, how can you do that? The horses are warm and we're freezing. You know what that foreman said? He said, if you, Otto, my father was obviously German, Otto, if you get sick and die tomorrow night, we will have another worker here. If that horse dies, we have to pay $25. My father said, oh, this doesn't work, and he began organizing. And what happened then? What happened then when they struck the Kohler Company? If you will check your records, the longest strikes in history are from that Kohler Company. And one afternoon, when my father and my uncle were on the picket line, there was a man standing between them, and from inside the walls of Kohler, which, and by the way, this is not unusual, a shot came out and hit the man between my father and my uncle and killed him. Killed him. People died so that we could have collective bargaining. Let me tell you something. They made a huge mistake when when they put this on the table. Because there is a line drawn now. We cannot allow this to happen. My father, also in the 60s, we had a commune in D.C., and occasionally we were working with in the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement, and we'd take a whole bunch of hippies up to Wisconsin. And my father would see us come, he'd just shake his head and say, "Oh, God, what is this boy into?" But we would tell him about the work we would do, and one of the last things I remember him telling me about the work that we were doing, he said, he said two things. One is, understand, these are wonderful things you are doing, but you will start to make real progress when you realize this isn't about civil rights or the war. This is about class warfare. And it is time, he said, they have the vested interest in keeping you people apart. The black people and the brown people and the yellow people, not just here, around the world. Have you noticed what's happening? Yeah. You think you're not connected to the people in Egypt?
We are!
Did you know that a 20-year-old boy who helped lead the revolution in Egypt 4 days ago put up a banner in Trafalgar Square that said, "We support the workers in Wisconsin"? The other thing my father said is, make no mistake about this. We have won, and they had. Everybody in this crowd owes your life, the way you live, to the dead man laying there, to my father, to my uncle, to your fathers, to your grandfathers. You owe your life. Is this the time to stand up and do this? Yes, it is. Is this the time that you're going to rise up? Yeah. We've been quiet for 40 years. That's right. I haven't been in the streets since 1972, but I will go to the streets now. Yeah. Will you go to the streets? My father said, if you let them, they will take this all back. Yeah. They will not stop till you stop them. Understand, if we don't do it now, they'll do it to another union, and they'll do it. No, it's the easiest to stop it now. Not only that, we will have collective bargaining for the teachers in this state. From my heart.
The Sierra Club is often asked, why do we stand with our brothers and sisters in the union? It's clear. Look at here today. We stand with people because the only way that we're going to be able to make the gains we need, whether it's for workers' rights or for the environment, is if we all come together. Thank you all for being here so much. Just 2 weeks ago in the General Assembly building, I was asked, why does the environmental community give a care what happens with the communications workers of America? The answer is really simple. And I wish that our friends that asked that question, like Delegate Tim Hugo, were standing here to hear it today. Because injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. I come from a small town in southern Alabama, and my hero growing up, and still today, is a fellow by the name of John Lewis. John Lewis grew up about 40 miles from where I lived, and where we grew up, that's an area where there are tornadoes on a regular basis. And John Lewis tells a story about being a child and working on a tenant farm with his family. And one evening, he and his 10 cousins were at their aunt's house. And as they were there, a tornado was coming through. And they were in a one-room shack with wood planks on the floors. And the only way that they were able to withstand it is his aunt had them lock arms, and stand on one side of the shack. And then as the floorboards would rise up on the other side, they would run over there and they would hold it down. And then they would go to the other side when that would happen on the other side. Let me tell you something, people. Bob McDonnell, Ken Cuccinelli, Governor Walker are a tornado. Yeah! The only way we're going to be able to hold this is for us to lock arms, for us to get out of our issue silos, for the labor community, the environmental community, the teachers to join hands, to lock arms and fight back. We must fight back. This is about the future. This is about the world that we're going to leave for the future generations. We see every time that labor is pushed away from the table, we see that quality working conditions go downhill. We see that the environment suffers. We must join hands together. So when the next time somebody says to you, well, why does the environmental community or the faith-based community or anybody else says to you, why do you care what's going on in Wisconsin? You tell them that we have to lock arms and we have to fight back. We have to fight back for our people, because the right to organize is the only way that we've ever made a difference in this country. Whether it's the abolition of slavery or whether it was women's right to vote, civil rights, it all comes down to organizing and people joining hands. So thank you so much.
When your employer takes away your benefits, they're stealing from you. My name is Suzanne Keller. I'm a state employee. I stand here today in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin. Public employees teach our children. We clean your streets. We protect your neighborhoods. We protect your health. And we serve in many other ways. Yeah. We are your friends. We are your neighbors. We are your family members. Today I'm here to talk about the pension system. As a condition of employment, government employees receive a pension. It's a contract. It's a promise. It's a promise to employees that we will be compensated for our work at the end of our careers. In other words, we earn our pensions. The governor of Virginia, like Scott Walker, wants you to think that we can't afford the pension system. The governor says the system is broken. He says it's in crisis. The General Assembly has now broken a promise of 28 years to impose a 5% VRS payment on state employees. This is smoke and mirrors. 5% from employees minus 5 from the state contribution equals a big fat zero! The fact is, the underfunding in the pension system is a result of the General Assembly spending our pension money on other things. In 16 of the last 20 years, they have underfunded the pension. Now they say it's in crisis. They say we can't afford pensions. This is part of a national strategy to create resentment and envy among our people and to claim cutting benefits is the only solution. No! You guys are beautiful. I'm honored to stand here today. Thank you for letting me say these words. This is a craven and cynical strategy to divide and conquer. It will not work if we organize, educate, and advocate. Today, will you join me to reject the politics of fear? Today, will you join me and say yes to education? Yes! Say yes! Yes! To middle-class jobs! Yes! Say yes! Yes! To health care! Yes! Say yes! Yes! To unions! Yes! Say yes! Yes! To our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin! Yes!
of America. Andrea.
Good afternoon, Richmond. Yeah, and all of Virginia, and I even understand we've got some of West Virginia here. All right, now, there should be a few old yellow move-on signs out there that talk about ending the Iraq War. All right, I'm here to talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is the war. If we didn't waste our money on war, we could afford to take care of our people. All right? War and tax breaks to people who don't need them. This is what America has come to.
Down with the Tea Party!
Exactly. Well, down with the Tea Party, that lovely deluded group of Americans. Yeah. All right, and up with workers. Up with workers. Now, I want to give you a little bit of information about what is going on the federal side. Since I left Move On as regional coordinator, I ran for Congress, didn't win. All right, didn't win, that's okay. So now I have a wonderful job. I am an unpaid lobbyist in D.C. for peace and economic and social justice. That works for me. I don't need anybody's money to walk the halls of Congress and tell them what I think. All right? And I am pretty damn disgusted. I think we're going to form a new movement. It'll be a collection of the progressives, the independents, the socialists, the something else for the 29 other branches of progressives, and the Democrats. I call the movement PISS. I'm pissed, aren't you? All right.
Tired, fed up!
Exactly. But now we need to have a plan. What we are going to need to do in Washington and all around the country is we're going to need to shove a 4,000-pound elephant up a 180-degree incline. That means we got to have a plan and we have to work together. Solidarity is the message of the day. So we want to come together. Now, I need more people in Washington. I need a lot more. Because unions, collective bargaining are under attack. Social Security and Medicare are under attack. It is a major attack.
I want my check!
Well, your children may not see one. All right? So we are going to have to start protecting rights that we won back in the 20s. It is all under assault. If they pass H.R. 1, the very first bill in Congress, H.R. 1, that one passed. It's now in the Senate. If the Senate passes it, we could lose 800,000 jobs. We are going to lose 63% of Planned Parenthood. That's health care for 5 million women and children. Republicans don't care about women and children. Who needs them? There are so many things at stake. So we're going to need to work together. So join me. I'm in Washington every month. All right? So onenationpda.org, that's where I publish my schedule and what I'm going to lobby about. So I need more people. 9 of us held the line against the Deficit Commission. It's going to take a lot more than 9 people walking the halls of Capitol Hill on this one.
Delano,
Thank you.
liberal, progressive, and no matter what people try to do, they can't change me. I'm here for 2 reasons. First, I am so outraged at what I'm seeing in this country, I have to do something. Second, I am so inspired by those in Wisconsin doing what they're doing that we need to do more of it. I'm so proud to be standing here in solidarity with all the people all over the country that are doing this today. This is an opportunity. Governor Walker, the idiot, has given us the opportunity to wake up, smell the coffee, and do something about it.
Yeah! Good boy.
It's time for all of us who believe in unions' rights to collective bargain, a good education for our children, women getting medical care they need, procedures that are legal, to stand up and tell these right conservative idiots we're not going to take it anymore. I want to live in a country I'm proud of. Right now I'm not. I want to live in a country that takes care of its citizens. These greedy politicians are doing nothing but driving this country off a cliff. It is time to do something. It's our responsibility, all of us here, right now, to go out and talk to everyone you possibly can, get everyone involved. We need to take our country back from the douchebag teabaggers. Power to the people!
They say cut back.
Fight, fight.
They say cut back. All right, just a little practice there. I got to shorten what I'm going to say a bit, but thanks to everybody else who's here and who didn't have time to speak. I'm going to do kind of what the Brother Schaefer did, and that's bring the past back to us. But I'm going to bring the Virginia past, because there may be even some of us here that don't know that we've got a Virginia past of struggle and solidarity that we can be proud of and build on. And there are some, right here where we're standing, there are some indications of that. 75 years ago, the Virginia Teachers Association, and I am going to take the time to read you this entire book, which is their history. The Virginia Teachers Association, which is an African-American organization, held a meeting, and they unanimously decided they were going to seek equal pay. This was 1937. Most of the people in the room couldn't vote. And the country was in a much deeper depression than we are today. But they said, we're going to do this. Well, when they said that, Harry Byrd, who was running the state then, probably was not very impressed, any more than maybe Mr. McDonald is very impressed by us today. But they stuck with it. In the 1950s, Mr. Byrd had to change his mind, started getting shook up. And he got so shook up that he showed that he didn't give a damn about students, teachers, or education. He started shutting down schools. And one of the schools that he shut down was Warren County High School, which is about 20 miles from where I live. And a few years ago, I had the privilege of participating in an event at Warren County Courthouse to remember that. And one of the people who came, and this is one of the great privileges of my life, was a man, some of you will recognize when I say this, he was 99 years old. He has passed since then. His name was Oliver Hill.
Yes.
He was a civil rights leader and civil rights attorney. Now, I mentioned Harry Byrd. Harry Byrd has a little statue up there. Not one of the big statues. He's got a little statue. But you know what Oliver Hill has here? He has that entire building over there. That is the Oliver Hill building. We got some history. Let's not forget it. Now, there was another gentleman who spoke on that same occasion. That was Reverend James Kilby. He was one of the students that integrated Warren County High School. And James sent me an email this week. He said, I'm going every day to the 4th and 5th graders in Warren County, and I'm telling them my story. I'm telling them how my parents and my teachers fought to get me into that school, to get equal pay for those teachers. And they did it. They succeeded. We can build on that, and we can do it. Thank you.
When your employer takes away your benefits, they're stealing from you. My name is Suzanne Keller. I'm a state employee. I stand here today in solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin. Public employees, teach our children. We clean your streets. We protect your neighborhoods. We protect your health. And we serve in many other ways. We are your friends. We are your neighbors. We are your family members. Today I'm here to talk about the pension system. As a condition of employment, government employees receive a pension. It's a contract. It's a promise. It's a promise to employees that we will be compensated for our work at the end of our careers. In other words, we earn our pensions. The governor of Virginia, like Scott Walker, wants you to think that we can't afford the pension system. The governor says the system is broken. He says it's in crisis. The General Assembly has now broken a promise of 28 years to impose a 5% VRS payment on state employees. This is smoke and mirrors. 5% from employees minus 5 from the state contribution equals a big fat zero! The fact is, the underfunding in the pension system is a result of the General Assembly spending our pension money on other things. In 16 of the last 20 years, they have underfunded the pension. Now they say it's in crisis. They say we can't afford pensions. This is part of a national strategy to create resentment and envy among our people and to claim cutting benefits is the only solution. You guys are beautiful. I'm honored to stand here today. Thank you for letting me say these words. This is a craven and cynical strategy to divide and conquer. It will not work if we organize, educate, and advocate. Today, will you join me to reject the politics of fear? Today, will you join me and say yes to education? Say yes! To middle-class jobs! Say yes! To health care! Say yes! To unions! Say yes! To our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin!
We're coming out today, and remember, this is the start. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Remember. Okay, let's end up with this chant and say, the people united shall never be defeated. The people united shall never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. Okay. United shall never be defeated. Yeah! Shall never be defeated. People united shall never be defeated. All right. As you leave here today, I want you to decide